think it is reasonable, given the fact that in the country as a whole, the costs have risen tremendously. What, in fact, if I was government, what I would negotiate, if I give that, is productivity gains, is to ensure that the efficiency is improved, that the complaints by the public in terms of the services rendered by the public employees is to the best in the world. And in that regard, therefore, they'll be earning what the state has paid them for.
The ratings agencies have warned against the bloated wage sector bill, and at the moment the government is saying that they're trying to make these negotiations very sustainable. Do you think at the moment they have their back against the wall?
Well, in fact, remember that workers are much wiser. Workers understand how the elite in the state, the ministers and deputy ministers, have really spent money. We saw yesterday the former Minister of Finance was in the news around his wife, how much was spent. So workers expect also to claw back some of that. What the rating agencies are saying to us is really something that we have to plan for in the long term. I think until we have an agreement around the new social contract between the state and its employees and society at large, including business and workers, that settlement then can ensure that we do embark on an austerity program. But that will be driven by an agreement. It can't be done under these conditions. Therefore, what the workers are demanding is fair, despite the challenges that we know government faces.
So is there middle ground, because the wage negotiations are deadlocked at the moment?
Well, there's no middle ground. I think given the fact that there's division in the country. We know that the lowest paid worker in South Africa and in the state is still very, very low. So that discussion really requires some soberness. So it's not a matter of whether we can afford it or not. It's a matter of what workers have been experiencing, that their bosses, particularly the ministers, earn far and they spend more in what they earn. In that regard, if any austerity, it has to be cut across not only within our government and our bureaucracy, but also private sector, ensuring that in the private sector there's wage restraints at the top as we try and bring closer those that are earning at the bottom, who are marginalized at the moment and are struggling due to their high cost in South Africa.
Now the unions are saying that they demand a one-year deal instead of the three-term deal. What do you think about that? So
we need a one-year deal, which is very important. I think the state, if I was the state, I'll agree to the one-year deal, because allows the state then to plan accordingly in the austerity plan that we're going to be developing after the social contract. So I expect that, if we get a one-year deal and then we work on restructuring the state, including shrinking ministers after the elections, as well as reducing number of public sector employees, reducing then the total cost of remuneration in the state, that's the process that will have to take place. And the one-year deal allows us that opportunity that let's do one-year deal and then thereafter look at the total restructuring of the state and its entities.